And so these are the things, the exploration of which, the singing about of which, make us human beings. The exploration of the universe of the unseen is the business of human beings. It's why we are the way we are. It's why we will be the way we will be. It's how we got where we are. How is it done? It's done by dissolving ordinary cultural boundaries, by perturbing consciousness, and by paying careful attention to the results and attempting to build models therefrom. Now, in the last few thousand years in the West, this enterprise has been tamed by priestcraft, which combines the enterprise with judicious politicking and a certain amount of ass-licking. Before that, the enterprise was untainted by such secular concerns. It was full force forward into the unknown, and this is the great era of shamanism. And what is shamanism but philosophy with a hands-on attitude? Philosophy not made around the campfire, but philosophy based on the acquisition of extreme experience. So extreme experience is the necessary key. This is true in all forms of endeavor. I mean, if you want to understand the atom, you have to smash it. You know, sitting around looking at it, it will never yield its secrets. You have to smash that sucker to bits and then collect the pieces and then examine exactly how it all came apart. In the same way, and without, going too far afield for the pun, we must smash ordinary consciousness, get smashed, and then look at the pieces flying in all directions and say, gee, I didn't know minds could do that. They can't in the workaday rote of, living inside the little boxes of positivism and constipated behaviorism and all the rest of it. I really believe that we are now in a relationship to the transcendental object at the end of time, such that the revelations are daily. The unfoldment, the connectivity, we can see light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I've had long practice at this. I've been thinking like this since 1968, talking about it like this since 1980, but I never knew how it would come or what it would be. In the last few years, with the rise of a technological, a cultural artifact like the internet, I now see how it will make its way into the world. We are building the nervous system of the human oversoul. We are individual units operating under social rules that are pushing us ever closer toward dissolving our societies, human groups run by rules, into telepathic collectivities of some sort. I mean, the chaos of the internet is chaos only to the constipated order freaks of the Hobbesian sociological machine. It makes them uncomfortable because they can't find the head, they can't find the hierarchy. But it's head and hierarchy that have distorted and made human institutions so abrasive and uncomfortable for the people who inhabit them. So I really believe there is no contradiction between technology and the spirit. There is no contradiction between the search for intellectual integration and understanding and the psychedelic experience. There is no contradiction between ultra-advanced hyperspatial cyberculture and Paleolithic archaic culture. We have come to the end of our sojourn in matter. We have come to the end of our separateness. This is all very scary. None of us know what it means, but the forces that have been called into being are now beyond the control of any institution or any strategic planning committee or any banking committee. These things have a life of their own. There is a morphological unfoldment occurring on this planet. It is bringing forth some entirely new order of being. We are a privileged part of this. Individually, our hope is to understand and participate in the epiphany. There is no blame. Nothing is off-kilter or wrong or unnatural or artificial. No principle has been betrayed. This is how it is supposed to be. But as it picks up speed, it's going to become more and more frightening as most metaphors fail. And this is why the rise of cults, and why the grasping at ontological straws, and why the whisperings from various corners of the universe have grown to a roar, because we are uncertain. We are not sure. But I think you become sure by connecting to the source. And then what you become for other people is a source of reassurance. The perfect metaphor for understanding this situation is a birth.
Something has torn loose on the surface of this planet, and we are embedded in it, and we are it, and it is sweeping us and all life on this planet into some kind of apotheosis, some kind of shit-hit-the-fan situation where all the hopes and dreams and fears and obsessions are going to be held up to some kind of transcendental inspection. Nothing can stop this. Perhaps, it could have been stopped in the 12th century or the 6th century, but now technical processes, population growth, information transfer, destruction of the environment, the great dying is well underway. And the question is, does this make sense? And an even more cogent question, can it be made to make sense? In other words, can we come to, in the situation of a planet sinking into chaos, and somehow run around and punch some buttons and close off some areas and salvage something? Acceptable substitutes for the mystery. You see, what religion is a contact with the tremendum, with the numinosum at the beginning of history in this context of plant hallucinogenesis. And then the fall, literally, the fall is the telescoping stages that moved us away from the original purity of this numinous image. And it ends in crack addiction. It's all about substances. This is why we frantically search the universe for what my friend Leo Zeff used to call the perfect high. That's what we're looking for. We can't help ourselves. Whole cultures are doing it. And they don't think of it as a drug. They think of it as an epiphany, a religious system, a set of sacramental buildings, or a city organized on a divine plan. But what they're trying to do is restore order. And they can't do it because, like the romantic lovers parted, the partner is not present. The completing anima image is simply not there. And so we are restless, violent, neurotic, repressive, migratory, destructive, self-negating, so forth and so on. I think that we're coming to the place where we can actually begin to take an idea like what I just said and amass evidence for and against it, and try to then cure ourselves. In a way, I'm trying to carry out a kind of Jungian analysis where we realize that we are all the children of some kind of very damaging thing which happened in prehistory. And it's plain as the nose on your face. It's just that we are so traumatized we do not see it. I mean, look at the story of Eden, which is the central datum, the central mythologium of our culture. It's a story of substance abuse and the consequent punishment that follows upon that, because Eve eats of the fruit of the tree of life. And it says in Genesis, if they eat of this fruit, they will be as we are. In other words, it was specifically the issue of consciousness expansion, and Yahweh, the jealous God, the volcano God of a dominator culture, and said, no, you're not coming into that inner sanctum. But she had eaten of it anyway. So there was a parting of the ways. Well, this parting of the ways, I believe, is a metaphorical description of the breakup of this symbiosis in Africa and the fall into profane time, the withdrawal of the bride, really. I mean, in alchemical terms, or in terms of the Jungian marriage of the anima and the animus.
And what these techniques all are about is breaking down the ordinary constructs of social and community consciousness and replacing that with a disembodied, archetypically laden, generalized kind of field of consciousness that fills more than Newtonian space and that anchors the society, allows magic to be done, allows curing to happen, knits people together, causes the anxiety of facing death to be assuaged, so forth and so on. In the same way that a caterpillar changes into a butterfly, we are changing from a soft-bodied tribal monkey into an electrobiological coral reef that covers the planet from pole to pole.